Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mentality Movement. Today's topic, pretty interesting. I'm going to actually address a little trending topic here in Singapore. And it's actually about a little bit about privacy and coronavirus, how coronavirus has invaded privacies or just eroded a bit of human rights and freedoms. And one of the things is how they actually track coronavirus patients or potential coronavirus patients. It's extremely important because they need to flatten the curve early on. So we all get that. But there's this argument over sacrificing health for privacy or sacrificing privacy for health. Yeah, it's quite funny because if you think about human relations or human beings, right? These are two very basic rights: healthcare and privacy. I'm not talking about monetizing anything or how expensive your healthcare is, but a basic human right would be to, live in a healthy environment and have privacy, have some degree of privacy at least. So it's very funny when people have this, the argument is framed as a or kind of thing, like health or privacy, when it should definitely actually be a both. It's not even a question. And in here, locally in Singapore at least, the specific thing we're talking about here is this TRACETOGETHER thing. So the government rolled out an initiative, voluntarily one, an application I think on the iOS systems, on Android systems, this app called TRACETOGETHER. And if you download it, it's completely voluntary, only if you want to. If you download it, it will allow you to track your movements and record it. So the way they're saying it is that on the phone, it is not supposed to record your exact location. It's just like Bluetooth pingers, doesn't trace you like a lifetime thing, and information doesn't get uploaded. But it caused a lot of people to have a bit of uproar over hey, why are you tracking my movements? Later anytime you can say I'm here, you can pin me there, anywhere. And that caused quite a bit of uproar. So the government felt, from the health ministry's point of view, I guess, they felt that there was not enough uptake of it. Only 25% of Singaporeans actually downloaded this. And a bit of the argument was based on the fact that not everybody in this day or age has a smartphone. So they're coming out of this device called the TRACETOGETHER token. Now, they're not really explicitly say who's going to have to use or carry this token, or penalties or fines for not carrying the token or rejecting the token altogether. But they have announced that they have this TRACETOGETHER token thing. And basically, it's a physical thing that you can wear, and it kind of tags you. The difference here is that, when you think of electronic tagging, we think of 24/7, some guy looking at a screen, they can see exactly where you are. But they have come up to clarify that it's not the case. It's just, again, Bluetooth pingers. So they collect your data at a certain location, at a certain point. Oh, you pass by here at this time. They have come up to say that the safeguards are that the data is automatically deleted after 25 days. And only a Ministry of Health official who's covered under Official Secrets Act, only they can access those information, and there's a whole chain of protocols to follow. So they're trying to move in the direction of persuading the public and stuff. It's not quite a touchy thing, it's a hot potato, who wants to be tracked? So they've gone down to the technical details of saying that there's no internet connection, and so you can't upload your data live like cloud. And funnily enough, if you think about it, right, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, even Google Maps, they all track your location all the time. You can even send your progress on the Wazi app or the Google Maps app. Send progress of this to your friends or your journey. Hey, I'm coming to you now, and then you can just send your progress. So there are a lot of trackers around, and we willingly check in and upload photos and stuff like that. Of course, it's all free will, you see. The younger generation, at least, they're already kind of mapping where they go. And if you look at one step further, banks or Visa and MasterCard, the way they really make money is by selling your behavior, consumer behavior. And how they sell your consumer behavior is just by telling people your purchases. So they can try and predict you as a human being, your algorithm. That's what artificial intelligence does. Every 2 weeks, I must have a Japanese ramen dinner or Japanese ramen bowl. They know it. So after 10, 12 days, right, it's prime time to hit me with some ramen advertisements, or I'm a prime target for ramen shops because I'm hitting my deadline. So consumer behavior can be predicted. And it's this big data that is a huge business, and people have been collecting data of humans for a lot of times already, for the longest time ever. Last time it used to be street surveys and stuff. Now credit card information and all that, you can trace your information, where you eat, what time is it, what did you buy, everything. It's pretty detailed actually. So this is already, giving up a piece of your life. I mean, the algorithm, the AI actually knows what you like to eat and where you like to buy your purchases and all that. As soon as we move to this, or we are already moving to this cashless arena, and wireless payments, wireless transactions will actually take over. If you see like apps like WeChat already, it's like all in kind of thing. You do everything via WeChat. It's like a one for all kind of thing. Without WeChat, you are literally handicapped if you are traveling in mainland China right now. Everything from booking a cab to even like buying gao lat on the street, right? You scan your QR code and that's how you make a purchase. Even for the most mundane things like a canned drink and all that, they still accept cash in the touristy areas, but they're moving away from it. And for a government perspective, right, this is amazing because they can control your tax dollars. As a business, you see, you can't like just give a rough estimate. It's really down to the dollar, which by the way is what you're supposed to do. Your tax receipts have to be exact and down to the dollar. So yeah, we're moving in that direction, and you can see how the privacy, the power just shifts a little bit, and why it's so important, or why the superpowers at least, or superpower currently is still stateside, and of course Europe and China, India, they're also interested in apps because the trove of information you can get out of your citizens from apps is just amazing. And compared to that, the TRACETOGETHER app is obviously, it doesn't sound like much anymore when you put it in that perspective. I can't say whether I'm in or out for or not. I'm just pointing out that there's a lot of other things going on in the world and a lot of tech factors going on in the world that erodes our privacy and freedom. It is definitely erosion. There's no two ways about it. From like when I was a kid growing up to compared to how many cameras there are now. In Singapore, we got like HDB flats, which are high-rise government-built housing, and they have multi-story car parks. So at night they can be dark and deserted, and anybody can access. There are multiple access and exit entry points. So it's quite easy to do a break-in, take any cash components in the car. Now they have this thing called Community on Watch, which is basically majority of cars in Singapore have in-car cameras, and they almost record when there's any motion around. So they're automatically triggered. So basically, if you're entering a car park, right, there's no way you can get out without any one of these cars catching you. For a safety perspective, right, then it's safeguarding property. And yeah, so it helps a lot. And there's a huge deterrence to know that all these cars around you all have cameras. So even if you manage to avoid the police cameras, which I think there are a couple of 100,000, I can't remember the number, they released that number actually, it's a few 100,000 and growing, you would still hit these car parks. So it's definitely a huge deterrence for crime, no doubt about that. But again, your privacy gets diminishes. So when I'm comparing back to when I was a kid, those car parks were, you can do anything you want. But now there's always somebody watching. Whether they review the footage or not is another thing, but it's usually recorded at some point, somewhere. That's the thing about privacy and freedoms, and as we go to the digital age, all these things diminish. If you think about extreme examples like in North Korea, the kind of dictatorships, right? So the population is already really controlled, the media is already really censored, really controlled, state propaganda and everything like that. But now it's getting even more invasive. When the internet came up, they couldn't block everything. So you have like North Koreans reading what the South Koreans really like and what the world's like, and they defect after that. But now with these surveillance tools, they are super invasive, right? You can't just hide at home and then look at the internet anymore or use the dark web anymore. It's harder. AI would come in and the surveillance would come in, and it's just extremely intrusive at this point. And I don't see it actually getting any. We're not going to go back to the old days. That's the way forward. And we are going to get used to having a camera film our every move. When I was a kid growing up, there's a Truman Show, Jim Carrey and all. Now it's literally a Truman Show for us, all of us. And the other thing that people have a stickler over is that, when the Truman Show, people have to carry that large camera chasing you around and you're on film. But nowadays, like some spectacles, you have spy cameras and all that. So you don't know who's recording ever anymore. Welcome to the digital world. Okay, so I'm going to move to my mentality soundbite now. And the topic I'm going to address today is that if you're not embarrassed with where you were a year ago, it means you haven't learned enough. Learning is a process, all right? And every time you look back, you move a few steps and you look back, a bit of review to see where you're at, a little bit, get bearing when you're in the right direction, how you feel about things. And suddenly you're like, wait a minute, this is not right. Like, I didn't do that last time. Was I really that bad? But that's good. If you felt that way and you look back at your previous, for me, okay, let's talk about myself. And I talk about my vlogs or my podcasts and stuff like that. I listened to episode 1 of the first video I ever recorded. I have it on my YouTube channel. You can check out on my YouTube channel. It's under the playlist called The Start, and you'll see like how I was a couple of years back, how I was orating, and it was different. It's cringe-worthy, honestly. And I know I wasn't proud of it then. I can't say I'm proud of it now. And I'm not happy where I am at the current point. But when I look back at it, I recognize that there's some progress of it. So it's embarrassing to see what I was before, and it's also enjoyable in a way because I know that I made those steps of, I made progress, a forward momentum, and it's brought me to where I am today. So it's a very important thing for us to recognize and to judge with. If, let's say, I look back at the footage back then of my old videos and stuff like that, my generally is on YouTube or Instagram and stuff like that, and then I'm completely happy with it. Right now, a couple of years later, I'm still doing exactly the same thing, exactly the same styles and all that, exactly the same discomfort and awkwardness in front of the camera. Then I think I'll be in a bit of trouble because I have not progressed, and inflation and the world moves forward, but you're still stuck at the same point. So that's regression. If the world moves forward and you're still constant, that's regression. It's not just money that's inflation. Our lives in terms of skill sets has an inflation value to it as well. So if we didn't apply any new skills from last year to this year, we didn't bring anything, we didn't acquire anything, right? Then there's inflation for you as well, meaning your skills have stagnated and your skills belong last year. So there's no point for you having, or the skills you have are no longer relevant in the post-COVID world. COVID again, massive blow. It's like a revolution of sorts, right? It changes a lot of things. Entire industries get wiped out and stuff like that. So we have to learn new skills. We gotta acquire new skill sets. We gotta try different things. And right now it's a good test for you. Since now we're in the middle of the year, middle of 2020 already, so fast, right? Time flies, huh? But at the start of the year, January all the way up till now, it just flew by. It really just flew by. Half the world was on, or maybe majority of the world was on lockdown for at least a couple of months, restricted movements and all that. Did you learn anything? Did you try something new? Did you put any content out? Did you publish anything? Some people publish books, some people publish podcasts, some people do vlogs, some people start a new company, a new business because they saw a need in this particular arena or area. Did you do all that? And even if you did, right? Are you happy with the content? Because right now, if you're grinded for a couple of months and you look back, right, you're going to see a difference in your skill set, in the content that you put out. There's going to be a marked difference in the quality of it. End of the day is, if you're not embarrassed with what you were a year ago or even a couple of months ago, you're not learning. So the best barometer of a litmus test to tell whether you are progressing in the right direction or not is to just simply look back at your old materials, at your old self, and ask yourself, how do you feel when you watch this? How cringeworthy is it? The more cringeworthy it is, the better it is for you. Okay, guys, so I started this series. Now I've got a YouTube channel. I've got a Facebook platform, Mentality Movement, Alternization. Do follow me. Drop me a DM, comment, do like, do share, do help me push this content out to the rest of the world as well. I really appreciate it if you can share it, and I also really appreciate any feedback and any engagements with the post whatsoever. Again, commenting down below, telling me what you want to listen to and all that, or just how your day is going. Just reach out and say hi to me as well, and that'll be nice. That would just be nice. Just connecting with me digitally is the way forward now, since I think movements are still going to be restricted. I would love to connect with you digitally too. Thank you, and see you at the next episode.